obviously we had a tough one on Saturday. We've got to turn the page just like we talk about when we win ball games. Draw the focus inward and try and get this football team better. Kind of highlights the slim margin between victory and defeat when you look at the league and the teams that are playing each other. Just not a lot of difference between anybody. We made obviously too many mistakes, and they made plenty enough plays to beat us. So we've got to get ready for Notre Dame. I like the way our kids showed up to work yesterday. We had a good workout, and we'll have a good week of preparation, and we'll need it. I know Notre Dame's record's not what they would like it to be. They've had some changes over there with a new defensive coordinator. They've had a few injuries throughout the season. They're getting guys back and healthy and playing at a really high level now. And they're going to be a tremendous challenge. So it's a challenge our kids are looking forward to. We're all looking forward to. And hopefully have a good week.
Raise your hands and get to the microphone.
Coach, is there any concern that it feels like in these losses especially that once momentum swings away from Virginia Tech, it's really tough to regain that momentum? Is there anything that points to that as far as what you've seen?
No. I think that's an easy observation to make in the losses. We've had wins where the other teams had momentum. The Duke game, they had times in there where they had momentum. The Pitt game, they had times in there where they had momentum. So, we dug ourselves a hole and put ourselves in a position that we had to play almost a flawless second half in order to give ourselves a chance to win, and we just couldn't do that. And but no, I don't. The momentum and the swings. I think our emotional maturity has increased throughout the year. I don't see that as we got to play better. There's no doubt about that. But I don't see that as an issue. I think our guys can handle those things, and we prefer not to be in those situations. But I don't see that as a big issue.
That's 2 games in a row where the offense has kind of struggled to get a footing going. Is that attributable at all to having played 10 games and some defenses being able to see more stuff on film and diagnose stuff perhaps?
Well, I think there's, probably several things you could point to. People have there have been some things that we've had to do a little bit differently, and our overall execution in those things hasn't been real clean. The thing that just talking to the offensive staff maybe most disappointed in is, and I'm not taking away from what other people are doing. I think they're doing a good job and making adjustments and that sort of stuff. But, some of our execution on some very fundamental things that don't show up in the stat line. I'm not talking about interceptions or drops or, rushing yards. I'm talking about, blocking him, the most dangerous man at wide receiver, a couple things in pass protection, a couple things technique-wise. It just hasn't been as sharp as it needs to be. That combined with people adjusting and forcing us to adjust, and then us executing at the same level we have at times during the year, has led to us not putting up the same numbers. I think people are trying to keep the ball in front of them a little more than they were. We hit a span there. I don't remember exactly the order of the games, but we hit a span there where people were playing us pretty tight, and we had a couple weeks there we had some big plays, and it seems to me just in general terms that people are trying to keep the ball in front of them a little more, force us to execute on a consistent basis.
Coach, you mentioned the changes at Notre Dame at defensive coordinator. What kind of differences have you seen on the field since Greg Hudson took over there?
Well, it's kind of an interesting deal. If you look at the 6 games that they've played, it's a little bit difficult to judge because the last 2 weeks have been triple option. They played NC State in a hurricane with poor field conditions. They've played Stanford, which is far different than most people offensively. And they've played Syracuse, which is the kind of Baylor offense, and Miami. So we're still in the process right now of kind of discerning the noticeable differences because you don't quite have as much film as you think you do when you realize it's been 6 weeks. So we're still working on all that. The kids, just from reading Coach Kelly's comments, I mean, and watching some film, I think the kids are playing hard. Not that they weren't playing hard before, but just reading between the lines a little bit, there seems to be some passion out there. And schematically, they've tweaked some things, but I don't see. Obviously, they're not in the middle of the year just wholesale change what they're doing defensively.
Travis in the back.
Coach, I'm just curious if you've taken part in the game at Notre Dame, and if you could just speak to having a great opportunity in one of the really cool venues in college football.
I have not. Obviously, I have a tremendous amount of respect for football tradition, college football, and Notre Dame, and all those things are kind of ingrained in the history of college football. And part of that is really neat. And kind of the neat part of them being involved in our league is, home and aways with a prestigious program.
Justin, Gerard's 2 interceptions. Another one, he just kind of took a shot, and the guy got underneath it in the end zone. The second one, was he shielded a little bit? Did he not see that guy based on your film review at all?
Well, I don't know if he didn't see him, but, I mean, those are 2 decisions. The ball's got to go somewhere else, in what we're teaching and what we're doing. And, those things happen sometimes, You play however many games we played, and there's a bunch of good decisions that he's made, and he's done a good job throwing the ball away at times when things weren't there or getting on the move, and and occasionally through the course of the season, you get away from your fundamentals a little bit, and that certainly happened. But I don't know his vision. I know what we're teaching him on that play. And we should be, we should be to the field. So.
Mike.
Is it an odd dynamic? We make a big deal about the fact that you have a non-conference game in the middle of this push for a conference championship. I know you focus on the whole 1-0 every week, but is it a weird dynamic for the kids to think that this game doesn't impact necessarily the conference race?
Well, it certainly is. A dynamic. I don't know how odd it is, but for us, and our message is, we've got to go improve. I mean, we haven't played, or certainly last week, and this is an ongoing process, and it's not always a straight ascension. And this is a great opportunity. I think this game comes at a good time for us to go on the road and play a very talented team in a what I'm sure will be a hostile environment as we continue to grow as a team and try to improve. So, I mean, sure, it is odd, but for us, it's about our growth and our process to go take advantage of this opportunity.
In the back.
Coach, I know it's just one play where Darion fumbled on the opening kickoff, but is he solid there, or have you given any thought to even C.J. Carroll moving over and doing kickoffs or anything also?
Yeah, we've given all that thought. I mean, we'll have a special teams meeting today at 5 o'clock, and I'm sure have all those discussions.
Anything else for Coach? All right. Thank you.
Good, thanks.
position, got a good aim. Change the whole world with my good game. Bullseye, every time I shoot, got the hood fame. Platinum, they know, it's the rapping on. Money get made, it's the grade, and the trapping them. Playboy doctor, microphone rocker. General, I am so committed to the roster. President, take off, me the sensei. Hot when I rock it, his fingers is caliente. We peeking, left the arms, the region, yeah. We getting down, sexy styles now, beating, come on.
Everybody was set in the back? All right, raise your hand to get the microphone just about there.
We'll get it out of the way and never ask about it again. The receptions record, how did that feel, getting it the way you did with the touchdown, or was it just kind of bittersweet just with the outcome?
At the time, I was just trying to make a play for my team. And it's kind of unfortunate. The play before, I felt like I should have had that one, and we got another chance at it, and I went to Gerard, and Gerard kind of gave me that look like he knew it was coming back to me, so we had it. But like you said, the win would have been more important, and we didn't get it. So
Gerard said to us that he thought the offense started pressing because they knew that possessions were going to be limited, and he felt like guys tightened up maybe. Did you have a similar observation?
No, not at all. I just think we didn't execute well. For whatever reason, why that was, I felt like we had a great week of preparation and focus. But in the game, Coach Fuente told us that we can't play like that and expect to win the game, and that's what happened. We just got outplayed.
What do you think is off or missing? Because the offense looked so good for so many weeks in a row.
Right.
Are people defending it differently, or is it just you guys making mistakes?
I think it's just us. We like to say that everything falls back on us. How we play will determine the outcomes, and we just didn't execute.
You guys have been so focused on conference play, and obviously the division was a goal this whole time. Is it strange to play a non-conference game this late in the season and maybe have kind of a minor shift in focus?
Not at all. Our focus is always going 1-0, no matter what, no matter who we're playing against. So whether that's Notre Dame or UVA or the Pittsburgh Steelers, whoever we're playing, we're going to prepare the same way, and we're going to try to go 1-0.
Would you like that matchup?
Against the Steelers, yeah, that'd be pretty fun.
Coach said that the teams now these last couple of weeks have tried to keep the ball in front of them more defensively. They tried to shut you guys down in the big plays. Is that something you've noticed really when you've watched film?
Yeah, and that's something that we expected early in the season. As the season went on, that we knew that teams would try to try to not let us take the roof off of the defense and things like that. But we're just going to have to get more plays with yards after catch, and that starts in our room with me, Cam, CJ, and Bucky. We have to accept that challenge and start to make more plays when we get the ball in our hands.
I was talking about Notre Dame and the history and the tradition and all. Have you ever been there, and is it kind of cool to go play a game there?
No, I haven't been there. I'm looking forward to seeing the campus and the stadium and everything like that. I haven't. I've heard a ton about it, though.
Obviously, with their NBC deal, a lot of people end up watching them, whether they're Notre Dame fans or not. Did you watch a bunch of Notre Dame football when you were younger?
Not really, no.
Anything else? Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate you coming in.
looking back on the Georgia Tech game, do you guys as a defensive group feel like there's anything you could have done differently to maybe slow down, especially their running game?
I mean, they have a good scheme, and at the end of the day, we just didn't really get off the field. I mean, I don't know how to answer that question.
I know it's early, but have you been able to watch any film of Deshaun Kaiser, and just what have you seen from his skill set?
He's a solid quarterback. He can stay in the pocket and make every throw, and he can also move, and he can run, and he can make plays with his feet. So he's trying to be a solid quarterback on film so far.
I'm curious, you've been through this before. How hard is it to transition back to what I'm just going to call normal defense after playing the triple option? Is it hard to get your mind right?
Not really. I mean, we heard Coach kind of say yesterday, too, you know, we're getting back to playing today's football, so it's time to go ahead and get our minds right for, you know, we will face a triple option, so it's a little bit different. Your focus for the week is different, but, you know, at the end of the day, you got to just go out there and play football against the scheme that's set up against you.
I don't know if you've ever been in Notre Dame. Is it kind of cool to, as a player, to go to one of the more historic venues in college football and play there?
I mean, I didn't know how historic it was until like recently when I started hearing guys talk about it. So I mean, it should be very interesting to go up there. But at the end of the day, I mean, our main focus and my main focus is to go win a football game.
Raise your hands. We'll get you the microphones. Any other questions for Chuck? Okay, thank you.
Sam, when you look at the offensive struggles the last couple of weeks, how much of it is what defenses are doing and taking a different approach to you? How much of it is execution by you guys? What do you see there?
I think at the end of the day, it's just execution on our part. We just got to do better at all positions. There's no one person or anything like that. We just all got to look ourselves in the mirror and see what we got to do better and do that, and just really just take a self-check and just realize what we got to do moving forward, and we'll do better. I'm very confident in that.
For you personally, you've been here for a while, obviously, and in recent years it's always been the offense is good, it's just not consistent. Is it frustrating that maybe there's a little shade of that right now in your senior year?
I don't think about that much. Not thinking back, and I don't compare to past seasons and all that stuff. At the end of the day, we just got to execute better and do better week to week.
Have you ever been to Notre Dame? Have you ever played a game there or been there for any reason?
I have not, so I'm excited. A lot of history there, and it's great football tradition there, so I'm really excited to play there. It's just one of those pinnacles of college football, so really excited to go there and play.
What's the coolest? I mean, we always think about when we look at the schedule, oh, I've never been there, I want to go there. In your career, is there one that you were really excited, whether it was Ohio State, or was there one venue so far that you thought was the coolest to go play at?
I don't know. And like you said, I've played in a lot of pretty cool stadiums. It's been a lot of fun, but honestly, don't really sit back and think about it that much. At the end of the day, it's still just a game, so just go out and play. So, I mean, there has been a lot of fun places to play at, but it's still just regular football field when it comes down to it.
A lot of people grow up watching Notre Dame, whether they're a Notre Dame fan or not, just because of the NBC deal. Did you watch a bunch of Notre Dame football because of that, or not really?
Not really. Not really. Like I said, it's just like one of those proud traditions of college football. It's exciting to play there, but I wasn't like a huge fan or anything growing up.
Coach said earlier that the opposing defenses in recent weeks have tried to prevent the big play on you guys and have really tried to play kind of prevent coverage and kind of keep everything in front of them. Is that something you've noticed on film, and what kind of adjustments can you make to fix that?
As far as adjustment goes, I just execute whatever the coaches call, so I have to talk to the coaches about that one. But, yeah, teams have played a little bit less man-to-man and taken some people out of the box and play a little more coverage against us. But no matter what the defense gives us and whatever the coaches call, we got to execute. So that comes down to us as players.
You guys have had a couple instances this year where it seems like you had a couple wins in a row and then take a step back with a loss that is kind of confusing from the outside looking in. Is that frustrating? It seems like you get a little momentum going from week to week and then take a step back like that?
It's frustrating to lose no matter when it is, yeah. No matter if you have momentum or not. Yeah, it's frustrating to lose, to answer your question. It is frustrating, but we got to bounce back. I'm really excited about the character we have on this team, and I know we're going to bounce back. So we just got to get back to practice and get this taste out of our mouths.
Sam, just to kind of piggyback on that, being around the guys since Saturday, can you just maybe assess confidence level? Are you guys still a confident group or maybe mentally dinged up a little bit?
No, I think this is, like I said, we have a lot of great character guys on this team and very confident group, so we're going to bounce back. We're going to be ready to go. I'm just excited to get back to practice tomorrow so you can start working this taste out of our mouths and just start focusing on another team and get back to work.
Sam, is this a weird stretch for you where you now have like a 2-week gap before you get back into sort of the bulk of what you're trying to aim for, trying to win the division, win the AC championship? I mean, there's nothing really relevant for you guys in that whole thing until Friday night 2 weeks from now, with NC State playing UNC.
Yeah, I guess from an outsider's perspective, it kind of looks like that, but I think it falls at a perfect time for us. It falls at a time where we can really just focus on getting better right now. We know we didn't play well last week, and we didn't deserve to win the Coastal Championship last week, but we still have that opportunity. So right now we got to focus on just getting better. It falls at a perfect time. So this week, just the main focus is let's just get better at what we do so we can have those opportunities later in the year.